Ghana sends warning after David Hundeyin raised alarm on plans to return him to Nigeria. Wow, I know that David Hundeyin, the young investigative journalist that has been on, the Nigerian journalist that has, been in Ghana on asylum. He has unearthed or dug out a lot of secrets about Tinubu and APC government in recent times, and also contributed in stopping ECOWAS from going to war in Niger Republic. So along the line, David Hundeyin has raised alarm how the Nigerian government has been planning and working to eliminate him. And apart from that, he has also alleged that Nigerian government is putting pressure on Ghana government to extradite him back to Nigeria to face prosecution. So in line with all those alarms that he has raised, the Nigerian government, the Ghanaian government has come out to say all those alarms are false alarms. And they have come to warn David about all those alarms as well, that they don't have any plan to return David back to Nigeria, and there's no pressure, that there's no pressure from Nigeria on Ghana to get him back to Nigeria, and that they are operating on international law, and David should make sure he obeys the Ghanaian law as long as he's in Ghana on asylum, that they apply the international laws on asylum in Ghana. So let's dive into the detail and see what more Ghana has said and what more warnings they have sent to David Hundeyin. The Ghanaian government has responded to allegations made by journalist David Hundeyin, who claimed that the Nigerian government was pressuring Ghana to extradite him back to Nigeria. Hundeyin alleged that President Bola Tinubu, who is also the ECOWAS chairman, wanted him extradited because he exposed alleged forgery of the Nigerian president's academic certificate and involvement in drug trafficking in the USA. In a letter dated October 1, 2023, the chairperson of the Ghana Refugee Board, Kenneth Atafwa, stated that neither the board nor the Ghanaian government was contacted by Nigeria to request Hundeyin's extradition. Atafwa emphasized that there was no intention to repatriate Hundeyin to Nigeria, as his fear of being refouled lacked supporting verification. Okay. So addressing Hundeyin's allegation against the Nigerian president, Atafwa urged him to refrain from such conduct, said could lead to political and national security implications and unnecessary diplomatic tensions between Ghana and Nigeria, while confirming that Hundeyin's refugee status would not be withdrawn. Atafwa reminded him to respect Ghanaian laws and observe the rights and obligations of asylum seekers. So Atafwa clarified that the Ghana Refugee Board was unaware of the allegations made by Hundeyin and emphasized that the board operated within its statutory mandate and in accordance with applicable international laws. He urged Hundeyin to abide by the laws of Ghana and cautioned against assuming responsibilities beyond the board's scope. Wow. So what is happening here is that Ghana Refugee Board has spoken, okay? So meaning that all those fears that David Hundeyin is alleging is not true. There's no pressure from Nigerian government on Ghana to extradite David back to Nigeria to face prosecution. And now they have warned that David should desist from all those alarms and allegations to avoid creating political tensions between Nigeria and Ghana. Okay, so at the same time, they said they are following the Ghanaian laws and also operating within the bounds of international laws, and they don't have plan to return David Hundeyin back to Nigeria. They are not planning to withdraw his asylum, and at the same time, David should abide by the laws of Ghana and also make sure he stays within the responsibilities of an asylum seeker so as not to cause more problem for himself or for Ghana government. And somebody want to look at it and say, was David saying the truth or not? Or is Ghana saying the truth or not? Now, is the word of David against the word of Ghana, Ghanaian government, the way we look at it now? Looking at the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria in the ECOWAS region. We know that government to government, they always support each other, they always complement each other, and then so even if the pressure has been there, of course, Ghana will say that there's no pressure to avoid any form of political tension. Okay, and if there's no pressure, well, David knows what he's doing. I'm sure that guy must have got incredible information somewhere, and the only way to calm it down is for Ghana to deny it. I am pretty sure, probably pretty sure of that as well. So that is exactly what is happening. But what is happening here is that, and sometime last week or so, David Hundeyin has also alleged that MC Olomo and the Hitler of Rivers State have all been commissioned, and they have commissioned people to go around the world to hunt him down. Okay, even though they have not come out to debunk it, but again, David has alleged that. David also seemed to have a very confidential source of information, and probably will be pretty sure of what he's saying. Of course, government, for the sake of peace, we say they are not aware, and that is not part of their responsibility. I'm sure those government will say that. But again, David has maintained that he moves from place to place to manage his locations, because they are tracking him so as not to remain in one place for too long and end up being tracked down. So because of that, he has been moving from place to place. He manages internet connection. He manages everything about him and his network so that they don't track him down as well. I have always known that I was a journalist, and a very strong journalist like this, David, the government, you will not be in the good book of government. That is true. It's just like the Saudi Arabian American journalist that was killed in is it Turkey or so, and then American government had interface with the king of Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabian monarch, and at the end of the day, they just play the game pro under the carpet, and the case is over today. And remember that Saudi American journalist has been on the issue of corruption in Saudi Arabia and staying to fire Saudi Arabian government from United States. But the day he was to travel to Saudi Arabia, he passed to Turkey, and he was tracked down at Turkey and finished work there. So we never can tell how much information David has, but all I know is that that kind of job David is doing is a very complicated, dangerous, and delicate job. Okay, it's a very delicate job. Anybody doing that will always have his life on the line. I think we've also got a Russian spy that was in the UK, probably working for the UK, and at the end of the day ended up being poisoned intelligently. And I don't know whether that guy is still alive till now, but the fact remains that what he was doing was exposing Putin to the external world. And we saw how he was poisoned, chemical poison was put on him, and after a while, he just started becoming useless to himself and to the rest of the world. So once you are doing this kind of journalism work and this kind of critical journalism, you need to be careful, you need to be secure, you need to know how to watch over yourself, because I tell you, the government can go to any length and plant and buy somebody to track you down and do what they have to do, just like they did to that Russian personnel in the UK. So that is what is happening. Ghana has, exonerated themselves, or rather distanced themselves from that allegation that Hundeyin is making, that Nigerian government is putting pressure on Ghanaian government to return him back to Nigeria for prosecution. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment.